gonna, address it to the chat room and address it to the replay people. Look, here's the thing. Just like Sheree talks with the women, we got to have this conversation on the man side, and I'm going to take that role. First, here's where I agree. When you have a lot of these ladies who are inconsistent before the internet, we used to just walk away from them. We used to give them the wall of silence. But on the day that the emotional black man felt that he needed to have such a voice where he'd start going back and forth, now the problems started to come in. When we had black men calling women apes and monkeys way before they was doing it, here on the YouTube platform 2006, 2007, that was a problem. It's not about who you're dating. Sometimes, I just back here 20 minutes listened to different things that different people were saying, and 40% I agree with it. 40%. But the real thing is simply this: as black males, we don't know how to have a well-read conversation. Majority of us. We have an emotional, I feel, my opinion. Look up opinion. It means emotion without fact. We're supposed to be calculated over 25, over 28-year-olds. But instead, we want to poke the bear at these chicks. The chicks are not relevant. Let Sheree handle it. Let Sheree handle it or walk away from these chicks. But when we engage with these chicks, and then we say what I heard earlier, date who you want. It was never about date who you want. Sidney Poitier existed in the black community and nobody teased him for it. Eartha Kitt, Dorothy Dandridge, they all had white people. Nobody tripped. They barely brought it up. But in the internet age, as men, we bring it up all the time because we want to poke at these chicks and make fun of them. That's the real thing that Sheree can't say that I'm going to say. That's what we do. And for the brother who was talking about academia, see, once again, I don't believe many of us black men are well read. We are not well seasoned on research when we say things. We just say, oh, that ain't true. Oh, that's crazy. That's weird. Mr. Banks, who wrote the book, Is Marriage for White People, went in that book disrespecting black men on darn near every second and fourth page. He brought it to academia. All the women start quoting that book when he, a Stanford teacher, but guess what? When we, back in old YouTube, when I had 42,000 subscribers, when we tried to get that idiot to do an interview, he ran from black media. He ran from black media. He has never to this day, coward as that is, stepped forward to any black male media interview. He stayed in white and women's spaces because he knew what he was doing when he made a anti-black male book. Oh, they're not smart enough. They're not in positions of power. Yeah, some of that is true. I say it. Some of it's true, but you don't make a book about that and then go on a New York Times denigrating other black male, and you got black sons. So for people to say, I don't know how I got in academia, you're late to the party. You're not as well read on these topics as maybe you should be, because if you knew, you would knew that Mr. Banks originated that. Go back to the Swirl book. The Swirl book is an anti-black male book. A lot of people don't know she was on MTV with a Swirl show before she even wrote the book, trying to push the whole anti-black male narrative. We ignored her and she tried to get more. We ignored her and she tried to get more. She didn't get no fame until Phil the Advised Show put her on his platform, 2007. Just like Cynthia G didn't get no notice until Boyce and Phil put them on the show, and O'Shea protected her, Cynthia G, for 2-3 years, putting her on the Rumble. The black man don't want to be accountable for that because it's too easy poking at these chicks. And I'm gonna also say this in real time, like somebody said, in real time, because I've been waiting for a minute. Right notes. In real time, we're not here putting other brothers in power to wash out some of these things we don't like. If you don't like the child support issues, why don't you kill the Ronald Reagan laws? If you don't like all this stuff that's going on, why didn't you back what Cory Booker did? Why didn't you back Obama when he wanted to wipe out all the child support and Paul Ryan stopped him? We don't know because we are not in the details the way we should be. We are only from the, well, I feel, well, that's weird. Well, that, all I'm suggesting, brothers, is poking at these chicks has a place. Yes, it does. Sheree, elegant as she is, well spoken, probably goes to Toastmasters. It's better for her to handle that type of stuff. I'm down with the memes. Mimi, the male identified women. I'm down with the memes. Cute memes, positive pick me's. I love them. I will run across the street and knock you the hell out if you messing with one of my delicate pick me's because they love black women. They love black women. And I'm going to end. Brothers, we haven't got nowhere with the Manosphere teasing chicks. We've just created more enemies. We've created more women. So now you finally got the rise of Sheree and women like Sheree. We should be bonding behind that for as long as it rises. Because intellectually, we got to think about our sons and nephews. These dudes are still out here committing crimes when weed is legal, because they can't rely on us to bring them into our positions and our jobs the way Jews can. So yes, there is a place for these women who are out of pocket. There is totally a place to discuss that. But we should never get to a point where we create new enemies for the other side. White men prefer Asians because they travel overseas to get a 13-year-old Asian like it's water. White men prefer Latinas because Latinas is the most baby mama on this entire planet. Nobody is more baby mama than the Latina. And white men prefer Becky. And these divestors should be ignored or let Sheree handle it because they can't get 4% marriage certificates from these white husbands. These dudes are taking them to ghetto gaggers heaven and dropping them back off in the black community. And a black man is picking them up and marrying them. That's really what's happening. Thank you for allowing me to speak.